Hi, this is Susanna, and I haven't been doing any live Facebooks for a while, so I thought I just would come on live today. And there's something I really wanted to talk about, which is the subject of recovering from setbacks. One of the things I've been working on quite a lot this past year is around building resilience. And I realized it was actually more than building resilience, it's building fortitude. So it's building that inner strength from within so that I know my direction and I know my purpose. And when things go, not according to my plan, that I have a way to bounce back. And I think that this is really important, in our careers, in our businesses, if we have them. It's important to have that resilience and bounce back so that when things don't go according to our plan, when we have setbacks, that we are able to bounce back. And I'm talking about the kind of setbacks. I want to talk about the kind of setbacks today that are when you were all in, when you really committed to something, when you really put your energy behind it, when you put your effort into it, when you put your blood, sweat, and tears in. When you're all in and then it doesn't work out. That's a certain kind of a potent, intense disappointment when it doesn't work out. And I think that it's a bit like, going to the gym and lifting like weights. If we lift a 2000, okay, it looks like I'm back. If we then go and pick up a 10-kilo box, it feels really easy to pick up after, building that muscle of lifting a 100-kilo weight. And so the reason I make that analogy is I think that if we use what I'm about to share with you, and this is what I've been using in my own life and in my own experiences, in my own setbacks over the past year or so, if we use it when it's really hard and when it's really heavy, it becomes quite effortless to do it with the more minor setbacks. So what I want to talk about is recovering from a setback, a big one. And I want to talk about a couple of unresourceful ways that we can do that. And then I want to share with you some resourceful ways. And when I say unresourceful or resourceful, I'm talking about things that we can do or things that we do that when they're unresourceful, like they're not sustainable, they don't help us, they don't really help the people around us, they don't, create something positive, they're not expansive, that kind of thing is what I'm talking about when I say unresourceful. And resourceful would be the opposite. They help us, they heal us, they help us move forward, they help us to create something that is a benefit to us and others. So that's resourceful. And if we're, women who want to make a difference in our lives and in the lives of other people, we need to bounce back from setbacks. We need to do it in a resourceful way, and we need to be an example of that to other people. So I also want to quickly touch on emotions, because what I'm going to be talking about is a lot about mindset. I've recently just fallen back in love with mindset and how powerful our thoughts are and how powerful our minds are. And, this is not about negating emotions. Emotions are so valuable. But oftentimes what happens is we tell ourselves something. We have a thought, and then that induces the emotion. So the thought comes first. And so, you can have an honest reaction to a setback. Like you can have a feeling of disappointment, and that's honest and that's true. And, we can feel it. We can be like, there may be a thought that precludes that, which is like, I didn't want that, and we can give ourselves time to feel that. And like, that's honest, but we can make it worse for ourselves by perpetuating bad feelings, by having thoughts that aren't resourceful. So a couple of unresourceful things that can happen is, one is around blaming ourselves or other people, shaming ourselves, or having a sense of like, this means I'm not worthy, this means I don't deserve it, this means I'm not good enough. That's really unresourceful, so please don't do that. Please don't blame yourself, please don't blame other people, please don't shame yourself, and please don't take a setback in your life to mean that you're not worthy and that you don't deserve, okay? That's really unresourceful. And another really unresourceful thing, and that's kind of like when we turn the dagger on ourselves, that one. And the other one is kind of when we turn the dagger on the world and we say, I'll show you, and we channel that energy of something was disappointing us, we channel it into kind of like, I'll show you. And that kind of I can't explain it other than that. I'll show you. You know that energy when you felt it. It's like, I'll show you. You're wrong about me. And it can be really resourceful, like for short periods of time. Like if we just want to like finish a marathon or, a triathlon or, get through our exam studies and then have a break. Sure, by all means, channel that energy. But at long term, it's not sustainable because it takes effort to channel energy towards I'll show you. Because what we're basically doing is we're avoiding feeling what we're feeling, and we're avoiding actually dealing with what's happened. And that's not resourceful. And I want to talk about 4 ways that I have found so resourceful in my life, working with clients, working for myself, like first and foremost, helpful. And the first one is about, I am glancing down at my notes because I do have notes here. I want to make sure I cover these key points, is having an openness to seeing that things happen for a reason. And so if we have a setback, if something doesn't go our way, there's a reason for that. There's probably multiple reasons for that. And the reasons are not that you're worthless or that you don't deserve it, but there could be reasons. Yeah, so just being open to that is a really resourceful way of dealing with setbacks. Another resourceful way of dealing with setbacks is to be open to the lessons. What was I meant to learn from this experience? Why did this happen? For my benefit, so I could learn. And so those are pretty common. I just want to sort of say, though, with reasons and with lessons, that sometimes we can have a tendency of saying to ourselves or even other people when we're telling them about what happened, like, I had this setback, but there was a reason or there was a lesson. We can kind of be like, I had this setback. I didn't get the client I wanted. And the reason is that they weren't the right client for me. And so case closed. And we kind of close the door on any other, benefits or any other learnings coming our way. So I think it's important to stay open. The third resourceful way of dealing with setbacks is radical gratitude. And if you ever have been any of my programs, especially Your Numbers, Your Freedom, or been on my live trainings or followed me at all, you might have heard me talking about radical gratitude, which is around acknowledging that we are creators of our own lives. And whether we're doing it consciously or unconsciously, we want things. And sometimes we create things because of our own desires. I wanted to give an example, like say you didn't get a project or a job or a client or something. Okay, looks like I'm back again. So I was saying, okay, looks like I'm back again. I was saying, on the one hand, we want something, but on the other hand, thank you for who just gave me the thumbs up. On the other hand, we don't. We want rest, or we want peace, or we want time alone, or we want something else. So there's it. So funny. It's like, do I want something else other than giving this live broadcast? Because it keeps getting interrupted. No, it's radical gratitude. It's about there's a part of us that wants something else. And so we actually create that for ourselves instead of creating the thing that we think that we want. And so it's a kind of a resourceful way of dealing with setbacks, because it gets us the opportunity to see our inner selves, know more, explore, do I have an unconscious desire that I'm not acknowledging? And what might happen if I acknowledge that? What might happen if I actually brought that into the forefront and then manifested and created from a place of acknowledging and honoring that desire as well? So radical gratitude, I love it. And the last one I want to share with you, the last resourceful strategy or the last resourceful practice around dealing with setbacks, is the practice of, thank you whoever just gave me a love heart, is the practice of seeing things that have happened as blessings. So rather than, just saying I created it, or there's a lesson for me, or there's a learning for me, but seeing like I I'm being blessed. Like, this didn't happen to me. This happened for me. And not just of my own, through my own creation, through my limited human creation, but this happened for me because there's something bigger than me out there that wants something better for me, that knows better than me, that's guiding and directing me. I think of it as like kissing, like giving you a little kiss on the cheek. There's something better for you. Mwah. Go out and find it. Or just stay open. And the thing that I love about this resourceful strategy around blessings is that when we're open to that one, when we're open to seeing our setbacks as blessings, what ends up happening, I'm back again, what ends up happening is we are able to stay open. So not only does it help us be resilient, not only does it help us to have fortitude and strength to move on, but it also helps us to stay open, and it keeps the energy open and flowing in our lives. And that is so important if we want to continue to make a difference with our purpose and to make money doing work that we love. So, thank you so much for those of you who've stayed with me as I've gone on and offline. And hopefully next time I do a live, we will have a better connection. Thank you all. Have a lovely, lovely day. Bye-bye.